And welcome back to Top Cheddar Sports. It is Tuesday night, which means we're going to be talking some NBA basketball. And this is actually the last three teams from the Eastern Conference here as we're preparing for the NBA preseason to get started shortly. It's an exciting time of year. I'm excited as a Sixers fan. I know all Sixers fans are, and I'm sure a lot of us are. It'll be good to see the NBA back. So we have the last three teams from the Eastern Conference to cover today. The teams that finished third, second, and first in the conference this past season. That would be the Philadelphia 76ers, the Toronto Raptors, your reigning champions, and the Milwaukee Bucks. So let's jump right into it. We'll go in order here. So we'll start with the Sixers. I have the Sixers as trending up. Interesting offseason for them. I won't get super into it because I could talk about it for like a half hour. But essentially, obviously Jimmy Butler left in that trade with the Heat, and they get Josh Richardson in return. I do like the fit with Josh Richardson. Obviously not as good of a player as Jimmy Butler, but he can shoot, he can space the floor, and he's a decent defender. I think he'll fit in well with the Sixers team there. And their big signing is Al Horford, stealing him from the Celtics, adding him to the lineup. This is big for a number of reasons. One, it gives the Sixers an even bigger lineup than they've had in the past, which has given them some success. It gives them a lockdown. He'll probably line up at power forward in the starting lineup, but it also gives them a lockdown center while Embiid's on the bench. A lot of options you can do here with Al Horford, but the biggest part of this for me is they basically signed a guy that Joel Embiid had struggled against, really. Al Horford was the one guy that really was able to shut down Embiid every time they played. Now he's on the Sixers, so that's obviously a big signing for the playoffs and just in general looking forward in the future here. So I really like it for that reason as well. They did lose some other pieces, but I still have the Sixers is trending up because I think that Al Horford signing is really underrated, and I think he's a very, very good player, very underrated player his whole career, and he won't have to be the guy in Philly. He'll kind of have a role player role, and he's a very good role player to have, that's for sure. So I have the Sixers actually finishing second in the Eastern Conference. They finished third last year. I have them second, and I think I have them as the favorites in the East to make the NBA Finals, barring injuries, obviously, for all these teams. That goes without saying, barring injuries. Let's jump to the team that finished second in the Eastern Conference and first in the league last year. By the end of it, your reigning champions, the Toronto Raptors. I'd like to congratulate again the Raptors on their championship. Well-deserved, very impressive all throughout the playoffs. They really, I feel like every round people kind of thought, will they pull a Raptors, and should, but they really stuck with it the whole way. So good for them. Congratulations to the Raptors. Not a great offseason for them, though. Obviously, they lose Kawhi Leonard. The only piece they really brought in is Matt Thomas, who is a guard that they got from the EuroLeague over in Europe. I don't know much about Matt Thomas. I'm not even going to stand here and pretend like I know anything about him. Could be a solid player, could be just a decent, I really don't know. But regardless, they lost debatably one of the best players in the NBA, debatably the best player in the NBA, and Kawhi Leonard, who really carried that team and was the heart and soul of that team throughout the playoffs. So I have the Raptors as trending down. They'll still make the playoffs, I think. They still have some solid pieces there in their lineup, but they're going to be hurting. I don't really have them as a legitimate contender to make it out of the Eastern Conference anymore. I think some of the teams we already talked about, the Nets, the Celtics, the Pacers, Sixers, and the Bucks, are all well ahead of them at this point without Kawhi. So I don't have the Raptors as contenders, but I do have them as the 6th seed, still making the playoffs. Maybe they'll make it out of the first round. We'll see, but I don't really have them going very far playoff-wise this year. They just lost too much, in my opinion. That brings us to the team that finished first in the East last year, and the team that has the reigning MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks. I have the Bucks as trending steady. They did lose Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers. They bring in Robin Lopez to play alongside his brother Brook Lopez, and they bring in Wesley Matthews, who I've always loved as a nice little small forward piece there, to come off the bench. They re-signed a lot of guys, obviously aside from Brogdon. They're bringing back pretty much the same exact team and then adding these two little pieces here. So I don't think they're going to hurt as much as people think they are. I still think Giannis has a whole nother level. He's still so young. I mean, I like that they have pretty much the same team coming back. They already have chemistry with each other. They're only going to continue that. That's why I have them trending steady, and that's why I still do have them finishing first in the Eastern Conference this year. I do have, they are a top contender in the East. There's no denying that. Like I said, though, I think the Sixers are my pick to come out of the East at this point in time. But the Bucks are going to be right there as well, and very well could come out of the East and make the NBA Finals like many thought they would last year, this year. Really, like I said, I really like that they're bringing back everybody. Pretty much the same squad. They can continue building on what they did last year, which was damn impressive. So that wraps up the NBA Eastern Conference preview for Top Cheddar Sports. Spencer will have third, second, and first from the West from last year to wrap up the Western Conference next week for you, next Tuesday. And then we'll probably continue alternating with just some NBA news as we get prepared for the season to tip off here in about a month, a little over a month. So exciting times. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Sixers, Raptors, and Bucks. Let me know who you have coming out of the East, your sleepers for the East, who's a contender, who's a pretender. Let me know all that. I want to hear it. So leave a like, leave a comment, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some hockey.